Nicole O'Neill once said, "When you find the courage to use your voice, it has the power to positively inspire and change the lives of others. It is one of the special gifts you have to offer the world. It is something to be cherished and championed, never hidden. And that is why we are here on Your Voice, Your Impact. I am the energetic EJ. I am a life and transformational coach, and I work with women aged 40 and above to turn their abandoned dreams into achievable goals by activating their voice for impact. I'm also a podcaster and an event host. On this show with me is
Great, so amazing. The goal of this show is to help people use their voices to create impact. I am a physicist and a life coach. What I do for my clients is I help them build systems to achieve their goals whilst having fun doing it. On this show, we discuss topical issues that can inspire you to move. Like, subscribe, and share. Welcome aboard.
Nicole O'Neill once said, "When you..." All right, like, share, subscribe, welcome on board. I see some people were already in the building waiting for us to come live. They're like, "Hey, we are here, anticipated." So let me give a shout out to everyone who is already here. I see you, Israel Media TV. He's been here just before we clicked live. And I think these are people, community members from Lady Ola. Thank you for joining us. I see you, Daramola. I know it says anxious waiting. Hello, now we are live. Are you here, Mr. Daramola or lady? Is it a lady? If it's Lady Daramola, please let me know that you are here and you can hear us clearly wherever you're connecting with us from. Finally, thank God today we are also live on Instagram. So if you're connecting wherever you're connecting from, whether on Instagram, on YouTube, or on LinkedIn, please let us know. Be a part of the conversation. Happy New Week to you and happy Love Month. We're still in the Love Month series. And of course, you and I know that Valentine weekend just passed. I don't know how it went down for you. I was just, having a conversation with my co-host who I'm going to bring on shortly. And she was telling me, the amount of gifts she got. I'm like, oh, God, well, I have the gift of life. So I'm going to console myself with that. But also, I had a fantastic time on Saturday at a Valentine soiree, and we had fun. Like, we allowed the girl in us come out to play, and we danced, we sang, we played games, we watched a movie together under the stars. It was beautiful, absolutely fantastic. And I was just high on the energy in the room. And so I think that was a good gift of Valentine for me, showing love to other women, to myself, and just being in a room full of positive energy. So welcome to the show. Daramola says, "I am here with you, and we are glad to have you here with us today." All right. I see you, Letitia Francis on Instagram. Says, "Sounds like a meaningful, and inspired." Oh, fantastic. Okay, I think that was the comment she gave when I shared this link. All right, I'm just going to bring up Gracie quickly. As we then introduce our guests today. Last week we had a fantastic time here with Lady Ola, dropping some gems on how to date yourself. But I love how she went about it. She went to the root of the matter to say, why would it be difficult for people to date themselves? And so today we are uncovering what are some practical ways. And it's beautiful because we now have an addition to the conversation, which is a perspective from the male folks. And this is gladdening my heart. So we have Mr. Achor Yusuf joining us today. But before we bring them on board, Gracie, how are you? Give us today's energy as in the heart.
Feeling love. That's how I'm feeling. You know how it is. I mean, love is in the air. So, but I'm going to say something. I listened to something yesterday, and they said for you to know that for love to thrive, or for something around love, growth is the product. I think I wrote it somewhere that once you're loved, because when you put love to something, it grows. So whichever way you want to call whatever it is where you are. I mean, as long as you're growing, you're loved. And that is how I am feeling right about now. Kudos to everyone.
Oh, I
How was
love
your
it.
weekend and how was your celebration? How was the Valentine celebration? Mine was good. I had fun. I was very busy on that day. So but later it was fun. Yeah. I hope I'm
Fantastic.
not
I love it.
lagging.
I
It
love
seems like you can you hear me very
No, I can hear
well?
you. I can hear you good. Yeah, I can hear you good.
Yeah.
I can hear you good. All right. That's amazing. I love that. And thank you for joining us on Instagram. Atong, thank you so much. All the way from South Sudan. I see you, sis. Well, it's possible she's somewhere else because she's a globetrotter. So I don't know where you're connecting from, but it's good to have you on the show. Thank you for joining us on Instagram. And for the people on LinkedIn, I see you. Please engage with us, be a part of the conversation. And if you're on YouTube as well, be a part of the conversation. Without further ado, I am going to bring on our guest on the show today. Like I said earlier on, Lady Ola was here last week, and we just love the depth that she brought into the conversation. I felt like last week was so healing in the way that she excavated the root causes of you not being able to date yourself, or not even embracing the concept of being or spending time with yourself before attaching yourself to somebody else, or attaching yourself to the idea of being with somebody else. And she elaborated a lot on some of these causes like trauma, like rejection, having the feeling of rejection from parents, from trauma, from abuse, and also. And then she went deep to share her own story, which really touched her heart, going through series of abuse and, broken marriage. And she's in a second marriage, but the second marriage has lasted 23 years, not without its challenges. But then she's been able to crack some code, as she told us. The ultimate code cracker was the Holy Spirit in her own story. And so today we're going to be looking at practical ways to actually date yourself. And we also have Mr. Achor Yusuf, who is very. The last time we had Mr. Achor on the show, he took us to some places like we were like, huh? Huh? He took us to depths that we were like, only you won't get all this brain. What's going on here? So we're happy to have him back on the show to even talk about relationship this time around. The last time he was here, he talked about wealth and the dark side of wealth. And it was just, you should go and watch that episode. It will open your mind up to a part of wealth that you're not thinking about before. So we are happy to have him on the conversation today. Thank you. Oh, I said that. Atong is joining from Uganda. She's a globetrotter. Thank you so much for joining us today on the show. I appreciate you. All right. Without further ado, I am going to bring up Lady Ola first because ladies first. Hello, Mama. What's going on? Hey,
It's
Gracie.
ladies
This
first.
Mama get energy. She was at that Valentine soiree on Saturday. My goodness. Her vibe was off the roof. Everybody was like, who is this woman?
Man.
From her dressing to her liveliness to her dancing. Well done, ma. Well done, ma. I'm greeting you. Well done, ma.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Welcome. I love it. I love it. All right. I'm going to bring on Mr. Achor. I hope there is not a network issue. Mr. Achor, can you hear us? Mr. Achor, are you there? Your
I think
video
he
is
can.
currently turned off.
Yeah, I think he's finding it hard to hear us. So I would suggest if you can hear us, if I don't know if you can hear us, you can uh
Leave
go
and
out
join
and
again,
come back
right?
in. Yeah, yes,
Okay.
it works
Yeah.
all the time. So you can go out and come back in if you can see
Yeah,
this.
you
Go
can
out
leave
and
the
come.
link, leave the studio, and then join us again. And for now, I'll take her back to the studio so that he can still hear us, but maybe we are not able to hear him right now. All right. So while Mr. Achor is sorting out his network, he's currently in a very remote area, so hence the network challenges. But we're hoping that that's going to be sorted shortly. All right, Mama the Mama. You know what? I am going to shut up now. Let Gracie open up this conversation because I love
Okay,
how she
come
was
on,
driving
Gracie.
it the last time. So Gracie, go for it, girl.
First and foremost, there is something that is very obvious. I don't know if you can see it. Energetic. Can you see? Can you observe something?
Blue, you and her are striped, number one. But there's a touch of blue here. Come on now. Hey, hey,
Oh,
get,
It's called a connection. Colors speak
the
to
vibe
us
is
in
vibing.
several
my
ways, and this is just a
God.
connection. I'm happy. I'm happy. I mean, I noticed it earlier, but I said no. I won't say anything until we get into the show properly. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I don't know, where do I even start from. You took us on a
Mm,
journey, and that journey is, I mean, we were waiting and we're like, next, what are we going to enjoy from your wealth of knowledge? And I want to start because I remember we were going to talk about
mm,
the practical ways of, but I think there are still some things that we need to talk about before we get to the practical ways. And I'll just go straight by asking you,
okay.
when you were in that space, transitioning to a new you, there were some things that you noticed about yourself when the transformation started. There were some things that you started, it became an aha moment for you that, oh, oh, is this why? And then you were able to learn some things from the past and you were able to collate them. It
Mm,
would be nice for you to share for us, because some people may even be at their eureka moment, but they don't even know it because, I mean, they are still confused. So if you were to share some of the things that you saw as aha for you when you were in that transformational stage, that you started noticing that this thing is I can see that something is happening to me. What were those things that you started seeing, and how did it play out in your daily life? How did it play out? We want you to run
mm,
us through those moments and to help someone recognize it, just in case they are overlooking it.
mm. Anyway, thank you guys for having me again. It's a pleasure to be here. Um,
Yeah.
the aha moment for me was, when you are, I mean, you don't say when because if you have never been where I've been, you will never know what I'm talking about. But for someone who had been through child abuse, grew up rejected, and have had a mess mind, and that all I knew was to give myself to people, because I was addicted to approval, to
Mm.
people's approval. So when that situation happened and I met Christ, um, or Christ found me, let me put it that way. Um, it began the transformation was so real. Like, I remember the first day that I spoke in tongues, and I was baptized with the Holy Spirit immediately. Um, I remember a- there was a huge transformation that I started to feel like, the way I can describe it is when we all know how we find when we start to have a relationship with someone that we've never seen before. Like, you just have a new boyfriend, you have a new girlfriend. There's something, so for us ladies, we have all these butterflies. Like, every minute you want to talk to that person, you'll be on the phone. How you doing? What did you eat today? What was your life with? That. There's always something on the inside of us that made us to always want to hear the voice of the other person, always want to, talk to them, want to get to know them more. So there was this force that was on the inside of me that I've been in church for. I cannot even start to talk about. I can't remember how many years I've been in church. I've been serving in church. I've been in every department, serving God. But I never had relationship with Christ. So when Holy Spirit now came into my life, and I started to see those things, and I started to feel like I found a new love. which was the driver to my transitioning, because each time that I want to go back into the things that I used to do, the pain I used to have, the my old ways of doing things. It would be like Holy Spirit would be like somebody is just around me and just putting his hand around me and telling me, you're precious. You cannot do this. You cannot do that. The pain that you, like I said, I hated my mother till she died. It's a wrong word to use for the mother that brought you into the world, but because she was never there, so we never had that relationship when I came on board with her. So every day of that 10 years I spent with my mother, I I every of those years it was like I should not use the word I regretted having my mother, because there was no connection. And because she was so religious woman that didn't know anything else apart from religion, and having me as a teenager. So in that moment, when I look at the pain that I've been through, the abuse in the hand of men, and the way Christ just transformed me, now showing me the things that I used to do and the new way to do things. It changed everything for me. And because I used to rely and depend on people to make me happy, to approve of me, to accept me. All of a sudden, I don't feel that I needed anybody's approval anymore. I feel fulfilled. I'm able to be in a room by myself and be happy with myself. And that was why I started with diagnosing the reason why people will find it difficult to embrace self-love. So the transitioning for me it wasn't easy, because because before you can learn a new thing, you need to unlearn what you've learned, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I used to do everything to get people's attention and approval, and which kind of it took so much energy off me. But now, where the state I am now, my goodness, um I I can't I don't even know how to explain it. I can only say I've come to a place of healing. Because if you have not come to a place of healing, I watch different people say, I'm a relation, I'm coach this, I'm coach that, I'm this, I'm that. I'm thinking. I look at some people that they themselves, they still need a savior, and then they coaching someone else. So for me, you have to come to that place of healing before you can actually bring somebody else in and say, if this is what I used to be, you can do it. If you're going through this, I came out of it. I can show you how to do it. So I think I should just stop there, because I have so much that I need, because of our guests as well. So
Alrighty. Thank
Gracie.
you. Yeah, yeah, very much. Thank you so much. I don't know if Acho, if you have questions, energetic for Acho, but Mr. Acho, your phone, I
Yeah,
mean
your
your
camera
video
is now
is not
sideways.
okay. Yeah,
Now don't chase them away.
the network.
No, it's
Okay.
going to
I know,
fix it. It's going to fix
I
it
know,
now.
I
But
know,
thank
I
you.
know.
Thank you so much. I love the things that you highlighted, talking about the things that you started to notice. For you, it was
Mm,
almost like a 360 turnaround.
yeah,
The fact that you
yeah.
can even deal with yourself now without
Mm,
craving the attention of other people, the
mm,
approval of other people, but looking within and,
mm.
connecting with your source, which is, the
Yes.
Holy Spirit. Now you now have a companion in Him, and since
Mm,
He's the one who created you, He's able to then guide you,
yes.
in like I love what you said when you said every time you are trying to go back to default
Mm,
setting, it's not
mm-hmm.
telling you, and he's not even doing it. I just love it. Like he's not even
Yes.
doing it like beating you. Come on there, like our
I come
parents would
over.
do. But he's just saying, no, you are too precious now. You're precious. You can't do that. You're too
Mm,
good. Like I've cleaned
yes.
you up. You cannot go into the dirt again. And I just
Yes.
love it from a place of love. And for me,
Mm,
what I hear you say is that he reintroduced the concept of love to you. And because
yes.
you were able to embrace that love and flow from there. And I can tell you guys for free that it is glaring. You just need to be in a room with this woman and you will feel it that she has become love personified. Like you will know that there is no iota of when you enter a room, when people are still a little bit jittery about something, maybe they are anxious, they are nervous, or they kind of feel like just small thing. I still feel that in some rooms that I enter, and it makes me feel
Mm,
like, yeah, am I okay? What are people looking at? Am I right? Right? But when
Mm.
you're in the room with
mm,
this woman, it's like there's an air around her that feels like I fool everywhere, and there is enough. Come, let me hug you. Let me play with you. There's a child in her that is so beautiful to experience, and I experienced
uh,
that first and twice now in events that we've been
mm,
together, and you can literally
mm,
feel it. And even other younger ladies are like, "Ma, I love you. You are beautiful. I just love your
that's right.
energy, and it's beautiful to see." So thank you for sharing that
Yes.
with us. I wish Mr.
Yes.
Asher is here, but while we wait for him to connect back,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to continue in the conversation. Now,
Okay.
if you are talking to somebody, and I love what you
Mm-hmm.
said when you were wrapping up that conversation, talking about healing. If you're talking to
Mm,
somebody who is now in that place, they now recognize that they need
mm,
healing and they need to, their eyes are being opened. They are trying to
mm-hmm.
unlearn the old ways and get into this new space. What would the first step be? Now, let's assume here, not everybody have the privilege you had, to meeting, with the Holy Spirit, with the Lord and everything. So let's speak from
Mm-hmm.
a place of generally. Let's say this
Generally.
person, yes, does not have that kind of experience you've had already. Where would you
Mm,
say they start their healing journey from to start to embrace themselves? I think Mr. Acho is back. Yeah, Mr. Acho, can you hear us
okay.
now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, fantastic. Okay,
I
we
can
just
hear
wanted to
you,
know.
guys.
Okay, awesome, awesome.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right, fantastic. All right, so I'll just quickly let Lady Ola answer that. I will come to you shortly. So yes, Lady Ola,
Okay.
please.
So for me, I will say if you have come to that place where you now want to make a change, now you want to live your old life and you want to come into the new. The first thing I think you need to do is you need to set the intention. You need to know that by recognizing that dating yourself is about self-discovery.
Mm,
Okay, it's about self-care and self-appreciation. One of the things that devil does well and he does so good is to make you to feel less of who you are.
mm,
It makes people not to fulfill their God-given purpose. So if
mm,
you have come to that place you want to make a change, you have to be intentional about it. You
mm,
have to know that you are in this season where nothing else matters but you, because right now you want to discover, you want to do self-discovery, you want to really know what is missing, what you have left behind, what was not working before. Now because you're coming into the new, so everything that has been in the past, you have to know that you have to be intentional about leaving them in the past,
mm,
not bringing them forward, because that will be critical. Is the first thing that you need to do. But because you need to rediscover yourself, because by rediscovering yourself, you're rediscovering your joy, right?
mm,
You're healing from past hurts. You're healing from your own company, because there are many times that we don't, because we have not taken time to be with ourselves, be a friend to ourselves, be in our own company.
Mm.
Now you have to learn how to be in your own company.
Learn. Right.
Be
Right.
be in your own company. Try and see, um, you know, whether you're dealing with insecurity. You have to tell yourself that I'm good with this. I can do this.
Mm.
I woke up this morning with the story of Moses in my mind.
Mm.
Moses was one of those that I can say was dealing with, how do I call it, that feel that was an insecure man
Mm.
because of the way he grew up, because of the things that happened around him. God was calling him into something that's bigger than him, but his past was holding him back. If
Mm.
even when God was telling him, I have, yeah, I've put everything in place for you. I know you cannot speak. Your brother can speak. I was walking behind the scene while I was thinking of you, so you don't need to worry. But insecurity of Moses and the things that he had been through
Mm.
was standing in his way. If God was not intentional about using him, if God was not intentional about him being the real man that he wants to use to take his people out of Egypt,
Mm.
Moses would have missed it.
He would have
And
excused
this
himself out
he
of
would
it.
have excused it. And this is a major point for me. It's so key that for you to step forward, you've got to be intentional about it. You've
Intentional
got to be ready to move on. You don't just say with the word of mouth. You got to put action behind it.
behind it. Mm. Right. Fantastic. Thank you so much for, I love
All
that,
right.
that starting point of setting intention. Let's rewind a little bit to bring in Mr. Achor into this conversation. Mr. Achor, thank you for joining us again. So we've been talking about self-dating. We started this conversation last week, and I'm glad that you are here today to help us give another perspective from the male version. Now, I remember when we were speaking this topic, I'm like, I was telling Gracie, I said, I have never really seen or heard men
Everybody.
have that conversation. For women, we have it once in a while where you're like, okay, girl, you don't have to wait for anybody to buy you flowers. You can buy yourself. Some people even use it to sing song, that you can take yourself out on a date, dress up, go to a restaurant, probably because in the society that we all grew in, it's almost like it's a man's job to do those things.
Mm,
But now we know that it's not anybody's job. Like we can all, be fully ourselves. And then when we come together, it becomes one. So, in your own perspective as a man, what are your
mm.
thoughts around dating yourself? Is that even a concept that you agree to, or that you negate, like us, that does that even exist? I would love to hear your perspective.
Thank you, energetic DJ. I really can't see myself no feedback. um, but if you can see
You're
and
getting
hear me,
feedback. We can hear you.
no, I said I can't see on screen. Yeah, and you, I agree with you. So, well, but it's fine. Can you all see me?
We can see you. We can hear you, even though
Oh,
your
that's
audio
fine.
is a little bit laggy, but we can see you. Yeah.
All right. So, and then my regards to more Lola, I
Mopelola.
watched the
That's right.
previous episode. Okay, so here is sent as me. Brilliant. I share the same views. Yeah, you said as a man, really, so we framed it. But
Oh, Nigeria network.
Oh, the network has gone again. Oh no. Network,
Nigeria
not
network.
today. Okay. Mr. Archer's oh,
Oh,
nah. Okay. All right, so the network, no worries, guys. We this conversation we must have it from a man's perspective because me, I'm interested. I want to know. I've never seen men
Yeah.
talk about these things. Like, but even when I think about it, I mean, I know that guys, guys hang out with themselves, on a regular. But do they see it as we see it? Like, okay, me, I'm not pretending. I'm just enjoying myself. Like, I just want to know from a man's perspective, and so hopefully the network would allow Mr. Achor say something. But Gracie, please, do you want to take the conversation on?
Honestly, I was really, really hoping to hear from him as well, because this conversation is something that everyone should, all genders should really participate. But I mean, for the, let's blame it on the network. The network doesn't want us to hear from a man's perspective. Yeah, but I'm going to ask Lady Ola, as we're diving deep into the meat of the conversation with regards to, so we have a backdrop, we understand what it means to date oneself. The next thing I would ask you is, how do you start, practically speaking? You've discovered yourself now that there is something you need to start doing to be able to attract the kind of person that you're becoming or who you're becoming. What are the practical steps that you need to take to help you even know that you've dated yourself enough and you're even dateable? So what are those steps that one should take? Because I want to believe there is that we can say some people are dateable, some people are not. Is it even a right thing to say? Actually, let me even tell you what somebody said. She said,
Okay.
there was a situation. Let me just quickly. She said that I am not even going to give this person an opportunity to date me. I don't have that energy. And I said to her that it is when you date that you would know if you like the person or not. But she said, from the beginning, I am not interested. So that's why I said some people are not dating. So some people might just, they want to get some people to take them on a to I mean to go on a date, and they just keep hearing that no, no excuse, from one excuse or the other. Maybe we should even look at it from that angle. If you want to flip it, how can somebody tell that, is it that I am not dating? Shey I pack shit put for body. That's on a lighter note, yeah. So we
Mm,
just want you to help us know the practical steps on how one can um become, dateable, in the sense that you have dated yourself enough that you are ready to take that step to want to date someone else. So what are the steps to put you in that position? I don't know if my question is somehow, but you
I
know you
I
know
will.
what I mean.
Yeah, I will try. I will try and wiggle my way around it. Um. Uh. For me, I think when we engage in activities that we love,
Mm.
before you can love someone else, you have to have enough in you.
Mm.
So yeah, it's the key. It's just it's not just saying, "Yeah, I love myself," but when I look at myself in the mirror, I see something else. When you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, "Wow,
Energetic, is it
God,"
me or because okay,
No, I can hear.
you
Is it
am
lagging
I?
on your end? I can hear you clearly. Yeah.
yeah, I saw her video rolling, like, as if,
Oh no, no, no! It
she.
didn't roll from my end. No, it didn't roll.
Oh, okay. Then
Please go ahead.
Okay. So for when you have loved yourself to that level where you look at yourself in the mirror and what you say, you like, Baba girl, you try. Like you just love what you see. then you're ready
Mm.
to date someone else.
Mm.
Because whatever that person is bringing is an addition. Oh my God.
Right.
Whatever that person is bringing to the table is an addition. You're not waiting for it to be what you're feeding on.
Mm. Mm.
So when you have solidified yourself in enough love, then you're ready to date someone else. Because if you are not at that level, you cannot, no one can benefit from you.
Mm.
Actually, you're gonna create more chaos.
Mm.
And then you're gonna be hurt more,
Get more
and you're
hurt.
gonna be
Mm.
broken more.
Mm.
So what is important is when every one of us know what we love to do. For me, what I did, and this is my word, right? What works for me may not work for you. But
Right.
how I transitioned from that path to where I am today is I went into fitness.
Mm.
I went
Right.
into fitness. No, the first reason why I went into fitness was because my husband likes a figure eight woman
Okay.
that is set, as in set. So the only in my head, the only way that will make him to not be looking out and be promiscuous the way he used to be. You remember, you see the old mindset. The only
Mm.
way that can happen is when I remain the way I was when he met me.
Okay.
Okay. So I went into there, even though it was a wrong mind to do. But when I came into Christ, it has become part of me. If anybody is listening to me and your husband is knocking it everywhere, here and there, and his eyes is not in one place,
Animal
or you have a
shall
guy
inter.
that is always chasing after girls, you do this. It's important that you first of all set yourself up first.
Mm.
Turn yourself into a gold that when he sees you, he turn around, he want to say, what happened? And he start to feel proud of who is going out with. Let me
Mm.
tell you, once upon a time, who want to hear story? Say time, time,
Go
time.
ahead. Time.
Time.
Once upon a time, I
Time.
did not
Time.
make it. I did not make it to the DM of my husband.
I don't understand. Please say that again. Explain.
I did not. When I say I didn't make it to his DM, like being on his status.
Mm.
Oh, I
Oh, it just clicked.
hear you.
You see, you guys need
We
to be
are
catching
catching up.
up,
We are
man.
catching up.
You catching up. For years I did not make it to that status. But if you get on this every of his status now, including WhatsApp, I'm all over everywhere.
Mm.
Mm.
Now, men, they are attracted to women that are confident in themselves.
I agree. I agree. Mm. Well, there's a man here to confirm that. But Mr. Archer, is that right?
Do you prefer landscape?
We prefer
Okay,
landscape.
so
We prefer landscape, and I don't know if okay. I think
As
it's
long
okay.
as we
if,
can
if,
hear his
if it's the
voice.
Network is
landscape that is
better now.
taking away the
Hmm.
network, it's okay. We can hear you and we can see.
please,
We can
We
can
hear
you
you
bear with
now.
this? Somehow my new environment is not regarding
conducive.
my device, my iPad, so I'm using someone else's device at the moment.
Oh,
Ah, I see. I
Yeah,
see.
so sorry.
No,
Like I said earlier, I'm not in my familiar space. This is not just, I'm in a different environment. So,
no
okay, so I
problem.
heard something that
Are you
men
able
really
to
want.
face the light? Because we cannot see your face now. It's like the light is
Okay,
behind you.
okay, I'm sorry.
That's
Oh,
better.
better
Yes,
now.
we can see
You
you
guys
now.
will have to permit me. I will have to do this.
No problem. No problem. No problem. It's fine.
Okay, so yes, she said something about men wanting confident ladies, right?
He said confident
Yes.
ladies are
Men,
attractive to men. So I'm not like,
is
can
that
you
correct?
confirm it, sir?
Yeah, so I think that's true. As long as that does not border on arrogance, like if confidence is not beginning to look like arrogance, yeah, it's finding that
of
balance because some people don't know the difference between being confident and being
arrogant.
overbearing, like overreaching. Um, yeah, you're second guessing the person you're with. That can be very,
Mm.
very irritating for a man, if you ask me.
Hmm.
When you think you understand me so much, especially when you're doing this and I can see through you as well. So yeah, we love confidence. Well, I would say I love a woman who is confident, but I also want a woman to be calm. Don't elevate yourself too much.
Okay.
Now he
Ah,
has changed the subject.
I am saying it though, because
You have changed the subject.
what this is turning in. Because I remember there was a conversation we had, something like this, and someone said that a man that doesn't want, or men that try to shut their wives down, because they are growing and they are sprouting, are
Oh, they are
men that
confident.
are insecure in themselves.
Mm.
So
Mm-hmm.
we
That's
want to
right.
understand where you're coming from, because when you say over,
Mm.
some women
Mm.
are, doing
Like
great
they're out
things.
there. They
They're
are
very
out like
confident in themselves. They're out there, and they are doing wonderful things. And when you find out, you would find out that the men behind them are men that are confident in themselves, and they're like, go girl, go shine, go thrive, go be yourself. So when
Mm.
you said what you said, it said, what I heard was, when the woman is calm.
No,
So maybe we're mistaken. I don't understand. So when you say calm, does it mean that someone that is out there thriving and doing all of that is not calm? So help us understand that. Then we'll come back
Okay, so
to.
for clarity, right? I believe relationship generally for me is between two autonomous entity, two free moral agents. Like um, it should be two individuals who respect, the uniqueness of the other, right?
mhm.
So when I say confident, and I was referring to not being overbearing, I'm not talking about the person's uniqueness. Some people are loud, like some people are outgoing, right? That's not what I'm referring to. What I'm referring to is when a woman like thinks that who she is with is not smart enough, so she has to break down almost everything. That's another level. You get,
Mm, mm,
like putting the man down. She may be doing this unconsciously, but then when I see that, I see someone who is not really self-aware, because when you are aware, when you have that awareness, you make room for other people, right? Regardless of your unique boisterousness. Like you're boisterous, you're confident, But confidence also should be a confident person should be a mindful person as well. That's my
Mm,
point.
Oh,
mm.
okay.
I think I get it now. I think I get it. I get it. Lady Ola, I wanted to say
Yeah,
something to that. Yeah.
yeah. I wanted to say something. I was going to say that, there's sometimes I think in African settings we misunderstand the word confidence.
Hmm.
Because you can be confident in yourself and be humble.
Right.
So the part that my brother is talking about is, for me, I see it as, that's not confidence, that's arrogance.
Hmm.
Because you can, if you're confident in yourself, it's not about, you're not confident to put other people down.
Keep it down.
Absolutely.
You're confident because you have been down before. Now you want to put yourself where you're supposed to be as God creation. So
Hmm.
it's, for me, it's two different things for me. Because like I was saying, I used to be there on the f- at the
On the
bottom,
floor.
at the floor bottom, that my husband will be telling me, honey, you have so much on the inside of you. Why are you so timid? You can do
Hmm.
this, you can do this. Each anytime that he tells me and said, honey, you're gonna be the one preaching, he will have to tell me 6 months before. I'm only spending 45 minutes to preach you. He will be telling me 6 months. Only when I'm not here, you need to step up there and preach. You are the pastor's wife. So I was so timid. And then when I stand up there and I finally preach to the church, the whole place catches fire. So
Hmm.
it brought me from that deep. And now say, honey, there are things you push me out there to do. You need to do this because I can see it. You have this. You don't even know what you carry. That's a man that's the angle I'm coming from. Coming from
Mm.
that angle, and then now having confidence in who God has actually created you to
To
be,
be.
based on what you have seen him using you for. I'm humbled. Anyone that knows me know that I'm an humble person. I mean, in my congregation, they can, if they gather around, they will tell you my own pastor's wife is different. I sit on the floor, I eat with people. It's not about my level. I thank God for where He has brought me. But when you're confident, now my husband is so confident. I mean, it's so easy for him to say, "Oh, we have this board meeting. We have these directors at work. They're doing dinner. I need you to go with me," because he can now see that even when I work now, I work with confidence.
Hmm.
It's that starts making any sense.
Right. Absolutely. It does. It does. And I thank you. I thank you both for bringing clarity to that, and Gracie for also
Yeah.
pointing that out to just clarify that there is a difference. But also
Yes.
one thing that Mr. Achor said that is very, very, very key, and as he
Mm.
was saying it, I was putting myself in the picture to see,
Mm-hmm.
if it's that self-awareness part is what I think people should pay
Mm-hmm.
attention to,
Mm-hmm.
because when you are doing it on the level of subconscious, you
Mm.
will not
Mm.
even know that you are doing anything
You are
wrong.
doing it. Yes.
Do you get? And it's not,
Yes.
and that's because you're not doing it from a place of you want to spite this person you are with. It's just because you are not aware to know that, see, even body language, the way you respond to somebody can actually mean something different from the words you are saying. And I just love how he pointed it out, because when he
Mm.
said, you can be I understood that thing, because in some scenarios I feel like I've been there. And I'm sorry, Lord,
Mhm.
forgive me. Especially when you said, when you are with somebody and you're trying to explain, it's almost like, Emma Binu, all of you don't be vex, but let
Mhm.
me enter your passport in this place. Like, show stupid, man. This is
Mm.
what I'm trying to say. Do you get, like, to come and water
Mm.
something down to make the person look like he's a child?
Mm,
You might
mm,
just
mm,
that's crazy. And thank you for
mm.
pointing that out, really. Yeah. So Mr. Archer, quickly, now that we have your audio and video, please, when it comes to the concept of self-dating, what are your thoughts around it as a man? Is it a concept that you guys look into? Is it something that is it a thing for you people? Because for us as ladies, we kind of have it because the way most of us were brought up is almost, especially in the African scenarios, like we're trained for you guys, and so
Mm.
everything should come. But now things are changing, and we're knowing that I have to be a person, a
Anita.
complete person on my own. So when you come, it's addition, and together we blossom. So on your end as a man, do you see self dating as a concept?
Okay, so I see. Well, so permit me to approach it from this angle. A lot of us see marriage as the goal. Like, okay, so eventually, somehow, I will be married someday.
Hmm.
But I see marriage as like a tool for healing people who are suffering from lack of self-governance, right? When you get
I love this
people
one.
who
I love
who
this one.
can't who can't be themselves, who have lost authenticity, right? So marriage is that yoke. It's almost like a POP, right? When someone has fractured the bone, right? So marriage helps you to find yourself. You realize that, look, I am supposed to be an individual, right?
Mm,
For me, that's what the purpose of a relationship is. So if you're not dating yourself in the sense you framed this as an individual, when you get into a relationship, you'll realize how much of she used the word like being addicted to other people's validation. You find yourself wanting people to validate your essence, to validate your being, right? And that's the problem because I feel that's not the plan of God, source energy, however, I mean, we have audience people, some people believe in God, some people don't. But one thing that
Mm.
we can all agree to is that there is that source energy, right? And
right.
for this purpose, I am saying, look, if you look around you, you can tell that the goal is for us as humans to take responsibility for our own well-being. You cannot,
Mm,
you know, saddle that responsibility on another person, you know, to make you
Mm.
happy.
Mm.
mm,
Dating yourself is what life is about, basically. You need to know yourself. Even when scriptures say love your neighbor as yourself, you must first of all love yourself well enough to be able to love your neighbor.
mm.
And this also involves even relationships such as marriage. I kind of believe that the goal of marriage is separation, right? You get
Again,
married
the
so
goal of
that you
marriage
can
is
define
separate.
what it means. You can appreciate what it means to be separate, right? And so if you're not dating yourself, you can appreciate your separate essence because that's what you bring into a relationship. You get I always say that even divorce that people look at in a terrible, in a bad, negative sense, is actually part of marriage. In fact, without divorce, you can't have marriage. Divorce is a clause that gives marriage its essence, right? And you have to be married before you can be divorced. So it's two sides of the same coin. And what exactly is the goal of divorce? It's just separation, to be able to say, this is who I am, this is my territory, this is your territory. And if you are not willing to regard and respect the other person's space, it's just a mark of immaturity. And this immaturity is for the fact that you don't even know who you are. And that's why you don't regard or respect the other person's space. So for me, dating yourself basically is getting to know who you are and being comfortable with yourself, appreciating yourself, because that's what you're bringing into any relationship.
mm.
Wow. The look on our face is like, it's like it's almost like you took us on a journey. Okay, we went to Jassy Bank to your low.
Sorry, what I hope I haven't I haven't said something like blasphemy, heresy.
No. It's not.
No, no,
It's
no. But
not about blasphemy. It's just
you know why
it's thought
I like,
provoking.
when having conversations with, it's like there is sometimes when we find certain things confusing and it looks like what it means is that, okay, wait, dissect it and
Consider.
see where this
Yes.
person is coming from.
Mm.
And I think, let me just go a bit into our religious setting. There are certain questions that when you throw out there, or some things that you shouldn't say. They don't say things like this. That's where the clarity comes to be. I'm sure that, I mean, I was a bit confused when you brought divorce into this thing, and then I came back when you said that, okay, you know, I
Grace,
came back when
Grace,
you you
Grace
you
said she
you
came back.
cleared it, and this is very important because there is a stigma, in the, and I'm coming from where I'm coming from. I think we don't appreciate understanding things fully, you know, and we can agree when I mean we have a very good um coach here and a teacher, and not just a coach, someone that had gone through a
Has
situation
been
where in
through
her first marriage, you know, there were things that she so that's it's a confirmation of what Achor is saying.
what you
And
just
then
said.
when she
Yes.
rediscovered herself, in her marriage, she knows who she really is. But when we talk about things like, divorce, separation, and all of these things, there is this uproar.
Around
What
it.
are you talking
Yeah.
about? Yeah, but if we can see things holistically, it will help us to even know what we're going into and what we should, prepare ourselves for. And I'm going to just keep quiet after this. When I remember when I got married, and I was just a child that didn't even know I was still calling. I was even still in the space of calling mommy and daddy and all those things. And somebody just came and whisked me away. I was like, ah, you know, it makes sense with what you just said. That, dating yourself is even knowing how can you not take care of, if not you taking care of yourself, you want to take care and be there for another
And
human being.
somebody else.
It's impossible, right? So I
Mm.
mean, as actual is not a regular person. And Madam Okpe,
I love that.
let me tell you, this is a dose of someone that's not an average thinker. So if you're like, what did this my brother carry? What did he bring? Or maybe you even resonate with what he's
No,
saying.
did you hear
So,
what she said initially? Miss Ola was like, I like this guy. I like this guy. It's
Mhm.
like this place is
oh,
going.
It's
brilliant.
deep.
I know it.
It's deep.
Deep, exactly. When we want to go deep into the conversation and let's uncover, let that
Let's
go
scatter
be
it.
by room so that we will even understand it.
I love it.
It's action that comes to mind, and that's
I
I
love
mean
it.
I need to keep quiet. In fact, I don't know
I
if
love
I'll
it.
just take a break quickly, and then maybe
Yeah.
I'll join back. Just
Okay.
continue. I just have
Okay. No
something to
problem.
attend to quickly.
No problem. So thank you, Mr. Acho, for that perspective you brought to it. And I love how it's almost like you disrupted the thought pattern for an
Mm,
average person to say
mm,
that actually, and it is true, because if there is no hate, love will not have an essence. If
mm,
there is no darkness, light will not be needed. So in the
mm,
same way, what you said about if there is no divorce, then the point of marriage, is a bit shaky. But that's when we look at it from the back end. And I love it when you said, it's almost like understanding, even before you get
mm,
into it, that you are two separate entity, and be wholesome in the entity that you are, respecting the other person as much as you respect yourself. And I think, you weren't here last week when Lady Ola told us her story. And for me, when you said that, it really made sense for me with her story, knowing that even in her second marriage,
mm,
what happened to her in her second marriage, when she said, when she found out something about what her husband was doing, and she said, this is the second one again. Is
mm,
this like, how am I going to do it again? But this thing you just said, I think is something that made her sit down to say, no, this is not going to happen again. And she allowed God come into the picture to
mm,
teach her how to turn things around. Because it would have been easy for her to just say, again, move out again, and say, men has come, and continue her own journey without healing. But in her
mhm,
staying was when she discovered her healing. And I thank you so much for bringing that perspective. Now, if you are going to speak to a young man listening to this, or a young woman listening
mm,
to this,
mm.
what would you say from your own perspective now, knowing that, yes, dating yourself means, understanding yourself as an entity? What are some ways that you would suggest, Mr. Achor, for somebody to go about dating themselves?
Okay, so for those who are familiar with the Christian text, like the Bible, um, if you bury yourself in scriptures, you'll find a lot of allegories that will give you mental pictures of what life is all about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, one of the writings of Paul, he said in Galatians 5:22, you'll find where the fruit of the
Mhm,
spirit is are
mm,
listed. Find joy, peace, patience, and then it ends with self control,
Control.
self governance. Self
mm,
control is
Mm,
self governance. That's
mm,
a fruit of the
okay.
spirit. And then when he goes telling the Corinthians that, look, I wish you guys were all like me. Just
mhm.
don't bother about getting married. Embrace the
Marriage.
celibate life. But if you want
Mhm,
to marry, if you know you lack self governance, meaning if you can't
mhm,
govern yourself, get married.
mhm,
In other
mhm,
words, marriage is recommended for people who lack that
Cannot
particular
govern
fruit of the
themselves.
spirit, self governance, because it's a yoke that will correct that illness. That illness, that thing that you like to
Mm,
dabble into other people's affairs. You want to uncover another person's nakedness, right? If you're not ready to cover the shame of another, to stand to protect the privacy of the other, you're not ready to be in a relationship like marriage, right?
wow.
mhm,
You're not.
mhm,
So,
mhm,
marriage basically is a mental institution. They call it,
mhm.
when you go, when we're joining people, we say, okay, into holy matrimony
It's
institution
matrimony.
and all of that. What is an
Mhm,
institution?
mhm,
It is there to really correct. You will find this picture
wow.
all through scriptures, even in, okay, so I hope we understand that Genesis chapter 3 was a story of a man who couldn't self-govern himself, who would rather eat because a woman says eat, not because he's hungry, right?
Hmm.
And then everything goes upside down just because he wants to possess the woman as his private, personal property.
Property. Hmm.
Before a third party showed up, he didn't have a problem. But when the third party showed up, because he didn't like the third party, he gave the third party a terrible name like serpent and all of that. We need to look at this story and see what exactly it means. Now,
Hmm.
their relationship went sour. Genesis 6, you will see where God himself is saying that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took wives of
Mm,
all they chose. And God
Hmm.
was displeased. Wifing is something God hates, right? By scriptures. In other words, what is this wifing? The idea of taking ownership of your fellow human being. You don't own a human being. You don't turn a human being to a livestock. So what exactly
Hmm.
is relationship all about? So you'll find all through. Then it goes down to Genesis 9, thereabouts, when he tells Noah that, look, you know what we're going to do? We're going to quarantine all these mentally ill people who can't do without wifing,
Mhm.
sons of God, right? And then you say, build an ark, build a mental facility, match them in, male and female, right? That's what marriage actually is. But then, if you come into the New Testament, you will find Jesus Christ saying God's intention from the very beginning was not husband and wife, it was male and female. He created them male and female, not husband and wife. This idea of
Mhm.
taking possession, appropriating a human being as your private estate, right?
Mm,
That wasn't the plan,
mm,
right? You can be a steward, but not
mm,
someone who appropriates another human being. So, if I have any advice for any young man, if you know you have been conditioned by patriarchy, which is a movement which is, it's been around for so long, and you feel inadequate
mm,
without having someone to call your own woman in an exclusive sense, then before you do this, take your time to really understand what you're going into. Because the virtuous woman that is described in the same story, in the same Bible, is not one that can be constrained to a tenth of a man,
mm,
right? If it is a virtuous woman you're looking for, then you must be ready to have a woman who may just go out and be having meetings with the likes of Pharaoh, the likes of Abimelech, right? You should be able to stomach their freedom. If you are the type who thinks that your goal is to build that harem where you keep all your women in an exclusive sense,
mm.
then I will say to you that you are actually in a mental facility because something is wrong with you. You're not well. You get?
Hey,
Um,
wow.
the goal of marriage is to establish the fact that you need healing. And the end of that healing is that you will find out that love actually starts at the point of divorce. And I'm using divorce in a positive sense, divorce in the sense of separation. Separation. I'm not saying fight. No. When you're able to separate and respect the other person and know that, look, they are complete in themselves and they deserve to be valued and respected, right? You're not supposed to be monitoring their private part like it's one offshore company that you have somewhere where you've taken ownership. I mean, I keep telling most people that I know that why would a young man's ambition be to become the CEO of a privately owned reproductive organization? What exactly is that? Like your life, all that you all that you think of is to become that. It's funny, but it's crazy. So when
Wow.
we break away from this conditioning where we think it's about owning somebody in an exclusive sense, we'll find
Mm,
freedom for ourselves, right? And then we'll find that life is actually beautiful because that's what the original plan was. A union of male and female, not husband and wife.
Wow, wait. Mediola, what's coming through your mind? Because a lot is going on in my head, like capturing the thoughts, but also kind of understand the depth. But it's also like, whoo, there's a battle going on there. What's coming to you, man? Because
I,
let's hear
I,
from you.
I must say that um I find this I'm trying to catch myself here because I've not had many Nigerian men
Hmm.
speak the way he spoke. And that tells me the level of his maturity and the level of his knowledge.
mm,
And I can relate with everything that he has said. I can relate
mm,
from the angle of the marriage is about healing. So for someone that needs it is married, about the divorce and all that, I can relate with that because if you want to the Bibles talk about for any fruit or what or any product to come alive, you must first of all bury the seed.
mm, mm, mm.
You must first of all bury the seed, and then when the seed is dead, then it will start to
A new life
come
will
alive.
spring
Just
out of it.
new life will spring out. So it's because we're talking about this self-love, because date yourself is all about self-love, discovering
Mm,
yourself.
mm,
And like I've been saying, and I just love the way he puts it. Like you have to discover yourself first, know who you are, then think, have time for yourself to think, do I need a relationship, or what I'm going into that relationship for? Because at the end of the day, we are accountable to one another.
mm,
So, and for me, this is where I get to tell people, not everybody wants to marry or is for marriage.
mm. Right.
Paul Apostle basically advised that, said, like my brother said, if you know you cannot hold this thing, go marry. But if you can't, it basically, I literally
It's
begged him
better.
that don't do it. So because if you it takes a lot. Marriage takes a lot. You give a lot. You give a lot to work your relationship. It's hard work.
Mm,
It's a continuous thing that you have to keep working at. You don't just work at it and 10 years and say, oh, now we're good in 10 years. Devil showed up the next day and tell you, no, he will do something else. Then you will know that you're not actually you're not done here. So it's the energy is a lot more than it's more than what we are the way we're seeing it.
mm,
And for anyone, for any, I love the way it puts it. Like, if you're not solid, if you are not fully discover and love yourself and take care of yourself and know what you stand for, when you get into relationship, you will
to
scatter.
mess you up. Mm, mm, to
It
mess
will
you
mess
up.
you. It will mess you up.
Wow.
So the
Mm,
basic thing is you've got to do groundwork. You've got to do whatever it
mm,
takes. You've got to set the goal for you. It's not. I'm hearing people, sending me messages, asking questions. Hey, what about the pressure from the family? What about if your dad and your mom are pressurizing you? And go and get. I was still talking to a guy on Friday, and I said his dad is even giving him ultimatum that if you don't marry from our tribe, and this man is 70 years old. If you don't marry from our tribe, then don't bring any woman home. Things like that. I'm thinking the guy is still struggling to even get one relationship. You are putting it on the table and say he has to. You are
from a
confining
tribe.
him from a tribe.
To a tribe. Mm,
So our thoughts in Africa is messed up. The way we're brought up is he has issue. And then for those of us that have come out of that mentality, and we're now starting to let people know, educate people that, listen, there are so many things that are wrong,
mm.
but this is the way to do it. Then they flag us that we are the bad. So,
Yeah, the
but for
bad.
me,
Wow.
yeah.
Woo, thank you so much. Thank you, Lady Ola. Thank you, Mr. Acho. Mr. Acho, thank you for coming and
Mr.
shattering
Acho,
this table, because this table you
Thank
shattered,
you.
you
yeah.
you are you are bro you are
Wow.
brought so much to the tables there. I tell you. You are breaking so
Honestly,
many tables.
I
you
beg
know,
you, I'm
as you
sorry, people.
No, 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 no
no, please,
apology.
we need the table
No, no,
broken.
no.
You
Don't
know why? As you were
apologize.
speaking and as I'm
We need it.
processing what you're saying, is making sense to me because the way my mind works in reference. My mind
Mm,
work in reference. So, for example, if I meet somebody and they say their name is Michael, for example, I kind of scan how many Michaels have I known in my life?
mm,
What is common among all these Michaels? And what's special
mm,
about Michaels? And then I
mm,
come to a conclusion like, ah, Michaels are like this, right?
mm,
So
mm,
as you were speaking, I was looking at who are people in my life that
mm,
I have seen and I've admired their relationship to say, man, how are they doing it? The
mm,
man is flourishing, the woman is flourishing, or the woman seemed to be the one up there, and the man
mm,
seemed to be very in here. But you can literally see that these two people are inseparable. They are growing
mm,
and they are genuine in love. And I'm like, what's going on? And one particular couple comes to mind, and is one of my mentors. And I remember my mentor. So my mentor is the husband, but I'm a friend to
mm,
the family. And I remember him saying something. I was in a conversation with him and some other guys, and he was saying it so boldly that he's been married for 15 years, right? And he's like, see, I'm not just saying this to brag, and I know he's not a man of many words, but when he speaks, people he listen. And he was saying, I've been
mm,
married for close to 15 years, and I can tell you for free, I have never seen the nakedness of another woman. Like I have never even thought about. I've never cheated on my wife. It's not even a thought and everything. And he says it's not because the opportunity has not arisen, right? That literally, if you enter his DM, you will see women literally throwing themselves at him,
mhm,
sending him all sorts of messages, pictures, and things. But he's like, it will never cross his mind. Why? And this is somebody who, when you see him naturally, like if you don't know that he has a family, you might not know he has a
mm,
family.
mm,
Like you might have no idea that he has a family. He doesn't wear a ring. He doesn't. And he backs up. He's a fine boy. Do you get? So it's
mm,
easy for ladies to feel like, this fresh man that no woman
mhm,
is hanging around, right? But he says that at the end of the day, sovereign, and he believes that his woman is sovereign,
mm,
and his wife is flourishing,
mm,
right? While he is flourishing. So what Mr. Archer was saying when he said that, see, if you are not ready to go into that institution because you
mm,
lack self-control,
mm,
then you are going in because you are well, and you
mm,
know that you only have ownership on yourself and your
mm,
partner has ownership on themselves. And both
mm,
of you
mm,
that are well are coming together and saying, we want to do this. So it means you are wholesomely living together,
mm,
but not claiming ownership of each other.
mm,
And when you say
mhm,
that, I'm like, that is so true. That is
mm,
so, I see it clearly in that marriage. This woman is like wholesome. Again,
mm,
aside from the fact that, she has kids and sometimes she, showcases the work that her kids are doing. If you look at that on her own, you would think, oh, this woman, does she even have a husband? And when you see the
mm,
husband, you're like, this man, does he even have a husband? But both of them are
mm.
sovereignly
Yeah.
coexisting together,
Mhm,
supporting each other, and the bond is
mhm,
there that they are not even thinking. And I'm like, wow, this is so true. What you just established
mhm,
today, Mr. Achor.
mhm,
At the end of the day, if you enter as a sick person,
mm,
there is all possibility. There is that same sickness that
mhm,
will bring you out of it.
mm,
Which is what you started with, Mrs. Ola, last week,
mm,
saying
mm,
the first reason why people cannot date themselves is because they
mm,
are broken.
mhm,
So somebody who is abused, who is
mhm,
molested, and who is seeking validation, and
mm,
now you are saying, let me enter this institution so that this
mhm,
person can tell me that I'm beautiful, so that this person can do and co with me, so that this person can give me their name. And you enter, and is that same this person can. The day they don't, your eye will clear. Be like,
mhm,
it's no longer it. You're going to look for
mhm,
the person that is outside. And Honestly, I just want to say thank you to both of you because you have just liberated a lot here today, and I am super grateful. Thank you so much. We can go on and on, but we just need to wrap up this session now.
Yes.
God bless you. God bless you. Before we say bye bye,
Thank
please.
you, energetic EJ, for having me. Thank you,
Grace.
Mopelola, right?
Let's call her Mrs. Lady
Ah,
Ola.
Sorry, I'm not within my familiar
just
space. So, look,
Okay.
I've
it's
not been
okay.
steady. The lighting
Okay.
is bad. Please forgive
Uh-huh.
me.
No, no.
It's
We're
okay.
happy to
It's
have
okay.
you here, sir.
Thank you. Thank you,
All
mommies.
right.
Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
for coming in. We appreciate you
Thank you.
for
Bye.
putting in
Thank
the
you.
effort. Thank you. God bless you. All right. Lady Ola, what will be
Yeah.
your last word as we wrap up the session?
Last word is love yourself, celebrate you, um, do life, learn to do life with yourself. You don't have to have much money. You just need to self-love. You need to, do self-affirmation. Um, be in the room by yourself. And then just understand who you are, that you were made beautiful. You have a voice, that your voice cannot be turned down. It's there's a law. There's a law, but I just pray that people will find their place
Mm,
where they will know that they are valuable, where
mm,
they will know their worth, where they
mm,
will know that God did not create two of them. He only created one of them. That's
mm.
why your DNA does not work. Your
It's
your
not the
DNA
same.
doesn't work with mine. So
Mm,
we all have our own. So dating yourself is an enriching experience
mm,
that lays the groundwork for self-love and personal growth. It's important that we know that. Absolutely.
mm,
And by taking our time to understand ourselves better, oh my goodness, we are cultivating a strong foundation for future relationships.
mm.
That's what I would say. So
Fantastic.
I pray that somebody will embark on this journey, and they will
Mm.
they will find themselves, and
Amen.
they will
Amen.
know
And
that
this,
they are the most important in that relationship
I love it. I
with
love it. I
yourself.
love it. Mr. Archer, I want you to come from a place of, because you seem to be a little also deep in the faith space, and I love that both of you are faith people. But something you said, and I wanted to say that time I forgot when you talked about it, because I'm saying that somebody could hear this, especially young people nowadays. They could hear this and say, hey, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not supposed to own one PLC, like you said, a young person, like I'm not supposed to be the CEO of one person's reproductive organ. So it means that I can be at liberty. You say God created male and female, it's not husband and wife. So
Mhm.
does that not
Yeah,
give people
true.
the liberty to say I can be with anybody as much as I want, because God did not say husband and wife is male and female? How do you put a caveat to that as you say your last words for the session?
Well, what I'll say is people should learn to follow their convictions, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
interrogate the scriptures. Don't limit yourself to the scriptures. And I'm not saying this
Mm-hmm.
in a sense to say that, look, when you look around you, God speaks to us in
Different
different,
ways.
like He speaks to each and every one of us in the language we understand. God
Mm.
spoke to
Mm,
our ancestors, right? God didn't start speaking when the white man came to Africa. He spoke to my great
Mm.
grandparents in the language they understood. Same
Mm.
God,
mm,
right?
mm,
Mm.
Um,
mm,
when it gets to relationship, I think that a lot of some people may misunderstand what I've said here to be like, okay,
Mm.
license to just go around and, well, yeah, it could be licensed for some. But the point is, if you find yourself running around, sleeping around, probably when you
Yeah.
check very well, you
Get
realize
yourself to
that
be. You
you
get
you
yourself to
have
blame.
you have issues going on the inside of you.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
You're broken.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
You're
when
broken.
when you are at peace, when you come to a place when you realize, look, to love a woman, you must first of all love all women. That means
Mhm.
you
Mm.
protect women generally,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? You once you set out one and say this is special, you truly
Mhm.
don't love her,
Mhm.
and you don't
Mm.
love the other women as well.
Mhm.
I know this sounds somehow women want to feel special. I get that. So yes, you need to love a woman the way the woman wants to be loved. But for you as a man, and I'm speaking to men,
Men.
yes,
Mm.
be faithful, loyal, and honest to their expectations, but be truthful to yourself. And what is being
Mhm.
truthful? Being truthful means that you do not own a woman in the sense as if she's a
A
livestock.
property.
However, there is wisdom in treating every relationship like the way the scripture says, do not covet your neighbor's house, his donkey, and his wife. In other
Mm.
words,
Mm.
if you must treat a woman kindly, treat her the same way you would treat a donkey. And what do I mean by that? A donkey does not eat shawarma, right?
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
must
Mm.
replicate the same environmental factors. You must understand the woman and meet her according to her taste and preference. Don't force your worldview, don't force your
Mhm.
taste and preference on
Mhm.
your woman. Love is
Mm.
actually leading a sheep. We call it leadership. You have to
Yes,
lead
sir.
our sheep. In other
Mhm.
words, feed the sheep with grasses, not with
Mhm.
shawarma, not with stuff,
Wrong
right?
food.
I know
Mm.
it sounds somehow, but that's what it is. So give people what they want, not what you
Mm.
think is good for them. That's my word for every young man out there, right? And you will know the truth yourself. I won't tell you stay with one woman or don't. You will
Mm.
learn. You will find the
You gotta
consequences
learn.
are there for whatever you choose, right? There are consequences. And by consequences, I'm not talking
Absolutely.
about punishment or anything.
Mhm.
It's just life. You will learn as you go along. So enjoy your own experience.
Yeah. Wow. Ah. Oh, so good. Like this is such a deep, mature, freeing, liberating
Mhm.
conversation. Once again,
Mhm.
I cannot thank you both enough, Mr. Achor. Lady Ola, thank you for coming in 2 weeks straight. We appreciate you and thank you for bringing light to this conversation. I really do hope that a lot of people got liberation from this. So, guys, if you
I hope
watch this
so.
session, part one and part two, please share with somebody who should hear,
Mm.
and especially those people that know how to argue, right? Let
Mm.
them come and put the comments in the comment section. I'm going to pick your
Mhm.
question. Whatever you
Mhm.
say it in the comment section. I'll pick the question. I'll send it to Mr. Archer. He will give us answer. I'll send it to Lady Ola. She will give us answer. We'll put it back there. Just because there is a need to be broke, to be free from here. We need to be,
Mm.
especially for those of us in Africa, we need to be free from. There are some things that, because we do not question,
Mm.
we're not getting the answers that we should get. I just thank you so much. God bless you. I'm
What
grateful.
a
I
day.
am
What a
filled.
day.
So thank you. All right,
Thank
we'll come your
you.
way again, guys.
Thank
Next
you, man
week.
of God. God bless you, sir.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Thank you.
God
Bye.
bless you. God bless you. Thank you, sir.
God bless you,
Right,
sir.
we'll come your way again next week with another episode. Lady Ola, mwah, I love you.
Thank you.
I can't wait to
Love you
hang out
too.
with you again. I want to have fun with you, right? So let's set that
Yes,
up
we
soon.
will.
God
Yes, we
bless you.
will.
Thank you
We
so
will.
much, ma.
All right.
Thank you. God bless you. Yeah,
Thank
bye.
you. You're
Yes,
welcome.
sir.
All right, bye bye.
All right. Yeah. All right, guys. I do hope that you've enjoyed today's session. I mean, I am like, whoa, a lot of light bulb moment for me from this session. And I hope you had the same thing. So please, if you missed any part of this, go back and watch the replay. And like I mentioned, if you have any questions, you have any confusions, any comments, just drop it in the comment section of whatever platform you're watching from, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. Please ask your questions there, and we'll do well to, let the conversation continue. This particular conversation today was very stimulating. Like my head went here, there, and there, but I can see the answers. I am beginning to connect the dots. And I think I'm going to sit with it again just to unpack it. It's a lot that was shared today. And I really do hope that you would go back as well to unpack it and ask some questions and enter into the truth that your soul, is looking for. Until we come here again next week, we're having a divorce recovery coach coming on board next week to also just kind of, wrap up this session for the Love Month series. This is the February. Next week is going to be the last, I think, the last Monday in February. So please join the conversation next week. So if you know anyone who is currently going through their divorce, or just, heading towards there or coming out and they're still going through their healing process, please invite them to be a part of the conversation next week as we talk about that as well. Again, it's still part of love. And I think Mr. Achor just set the stage for us to help us have that conversation that, sometimes, it's like without the concept of divorce, then marriage, it's because there's divorce. That's why the marriage is there. So I'm going to have that conversation with the divorce recovery coach next week. Be a part of that conversation. All right. Take care now and have a fantastic week ahead. God bless you. Bye-bye.